McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
You look at Vanderbilt, and during my time there, and I was there 7 years, but the reality was we went to a couple of bowl games, and I think Vandy's been to 7 bowl games in the school history. Okay, and we beat Tennessee 3 years in a row, and that's never been done. We beat Georgia, at Georgia, and I don't know the last time Vandy's done that.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR. 560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. The U.S. won't say how it will respond to the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels after the largest attack yet in the Red Sea since the start of the Israel-Hamas war. National Security Council spokesperson John Kirby called the attacks unlawful.
Despite what the Houthis may say, they are threatening and targeting commercial vessels with ties to countries all over the world, many of which have no connection to Israel whatsoever.
More fallout from the Pentagon's gap in notifying the White House about Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin's procedure for prostate cancer and later his emergency hospitalization due to an infection. The White House says it made an overt and genuine effort to learn more about Austin's condition. Republicans in a letter to the president say they're concerned about the lapse in protocols. Israeli officials say they will be at tomorrow's hearing at the International Court of Justice to defend against the case filed by South Africa accusing Israel's military of genocide in Gaza. This is ABC News.
We all make resolutions this time of year, and let's face it, most of them won't stick. But here's one that's not only easy to keep, but will help you feel healthier all year long. Navage. Navage provides quick, drug-free nasal relief by washing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. This time of year, when everyone is sick, Navage helps by sucking out germs, bacteria, and viruses trapped in our noses that cause us to feel miserable. And come allergy season, it does the same with dust, pollen, and other allergens. And unlike medications that can take time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage helps treat congestion symptoms in seconds flat, without drugs. This New Year's, resolve to use drug-free Navage to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
WNSR.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Kentucky. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare studios.
Just a bit outside.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Pretty good Wednesday afternoon to you, and yes, it is time for the McFarland Show here on Nashville Sports Radio. Darren and Justin here with you, and we are live here in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. DJ Damon is alongside for the ride for the next 2 hours. 615-844-5600 is how you get in touch with us. We're going to be wide open today. There's, as you can imagine, a lot to discuss. we will do our top 10. We've decided that we're going to do our top 10 going into the playoffs, and we're just going to leave it at that, as in this will be the final week. But just to kind of look at what do we see our top 10 as going into this weekend's worth of playoff games, Saturday, Sunday, and don't forget there is Monday night. So 3 days of NFL playoffs. And so we'll do our final. This one will be our final top 10.
That is correct.
As DJ Damon is, I hope he's okay over there. I don't know what's going on.
He's all right.
He's having a fit.
He says
there.
he's okay.
Okay, good. Thumbs up. Give us give us the thumbs up.
He's all right.
Sneezes, plural.
He's okay.
Doing the Darren McFarland sneeze.
Sneezes.
Yeah.
Plural.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yesterday, we ended the show and turned it over to the Rand Carthon, general manager of the Titans, live presser.
Yeah.
And I suspected that press conference I had in my head all along, it was going to go about 45 minutes. And it ended up going about 35 minutes. And you could tell as you got out of about 30 minutes. So there was about 4 or 5 minutes left. And we kind of got out of that coverage. And I know why you did, because I was thinking the same way. Same thing, listening, right?
Yeah.
Like, this thing's kind of winding down because I think Rand's kind of done.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty clear that
he's heard all the questions here.
Like, right. And quite honestly, we haven't talked about this because obviously we haven't been able to react to something that happened as we exited stage left and turned things over to the live presser here on WNSR.
Yeah.
I thought a lot of that stuff, when it got awkward, was probably self-inflicted, because there was a lot of me going, "Oh no, don't answer it like that. Don't do that." Now, I did say to you early on in the presser, I did not love Rand Carthon acting like everything is beautiful with him and Mike Vrabel. Everything is great. I mean, our relationship, we are in lockstep. I mean, we are just together. Wow. Reunited because it feels so good. No, Rand. Everything was not perfect. Everything was not beautiful. No, it wasn't. Okay? He's fired. It wasn't beautiful. There was a whole lot of reports out there coming from a lot of areas and a lot of people saying it wasn't beautiful between you. Where did that come from, Rand? It came from somewhere.
He doesn't know.
Maybe it didn't. Well, I didn't expect it to come from him, but I wouldn't be surprised if things didn't come from him.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised if things didn't come from Vrabel, right? That's how those things get out there. That's why I said, look, folks, if there's smoke after smoke, bellowing after smoke, it's coming from somewhere, okay? These people didn't just wake up and say, you know what? Today's a good day to put this out there. I just think, I had a weird dream last night, and I woke up on this side of the bed, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to report this today. And then somebody else piggybacks off that and reports something kind of along the same lines. Like, that's not how this stuff works. Clearly, somebody was talking, or several people were talking, Justin, for that stuff to get out there.
Yeah.
But I didn't love Rand Carthon yesterday acting like everything is fine between me and Mike Vrabel, lockstep, holding hands. Lighting candles and holding hands, singing together, kumbaya.
Kumbaya.
Like, stop it, Rand. Don't insult us. Look, you don't have to get into details. I get it, bro.
No.
You don't have to go there. Nobody's asking you to unleash the beast.
That's good, because he wasn't.
Right? And nobody's expecting him to do that.
Good thing no one's asking him to do it.
Because he's not going to do that.
Because he wasn't going to do it.
We get it. But, man, you can answer better than that. Don't insult us, okay? Don't insult us and act like everything was fine. There's ways to skirt around things, but I did love that. I did not love that part of it.
There's so much.
You see why we left today open?
With the Rand Carthon press conference, and On one front, I was frustrated by it. On another front, I completely understand.
Yeah, me too.
Why he answered some of the questions the way that he did.
Me too.
And I don't know what else. And I can picture myself in his situation, probably doing the exact same thing. Yeah, sadly, I'd probably do the same thing.
You would?
Probably, or something akin to it, because of all the different things that are tied up with it, with this job, and the fact that you only get this job one time, and you only get to make this much money one time, and once you get fired from this thing, there's no second chance at this. So you have to be careful about what you do and how you handle yourself up here. So this is a big moment here. This is not a small thing. This is a big thing. So what you're looking at here is a man who has been in football his entire life, sitting up here at a table in a situation where that is not entirely of his own making, and trying to figure out the best way to navigate it without throwing a bunch of people under the bus, without making his organization look bad, without injecting too much of his opinion, without protecting his own organization and doing. I mean, he's got a lot of mental gymnastics up there that he's trying to accomplish. He's trying to speak for his owner, and he's trying to do what's best for the organization. And if that means being a little sideways at times with certain things, then that's what he's going to do. That's what people before him have done. That's what people after him will do. No organization, very few, I'm not going to say none, very few organizations are completely truthful about the way things end when they end with head coaches. You can go back to the Jeff Fisher press conference. When that ended, you're telling me that the total unadulterated truth was told that day during that press conference?
Is that the one Steve Underwood conducted?
Well, yeah, and Jeff came by and said it was a mutual parting of ways and all this. Okay. Listen, man, it happened, and now we have to figure out what are we going to do next. To be honest, I think he answered the questions as honestly as he could in certain aspects. I mean, they asked him, are you going to be in charge of the process and finding a new head coach? He said, well, I'm going to be part of the process. There's a whole...
Yeah, I wish they get. I'm kind of done with collaboration.
I
wish they need to move on.
But see, that's the thing. It doesn't matter if we're done with it because, and this is to me the most telling part of the entire press conference. It's a 20-second soundbite. I'm sorry I didn't prepare Damon with it, but it was the part of the press conference where someone asked him, why didn't Mike Vrabel fit into the vision of the team or whatever? And he says, it's not the vision of the team. It's Miss Amy's vision, her vision of her organization, not the team.
Then it's not collaboration. Then we need to get off that word.
It's collaboration under her.
No, it's saying the owner, which we all know, has the final say, and what she says goes.
Yes.
That's not collaboration.
Well, it's collaboration.
That's not.
It's collaboration under
If
her
she says
umbrella.
He's fired. It doesn't matter what you think. He's fired.
That is true.
So
now,
that's
that
not
part's
collaboration.
True. Now that part's true.
Wait a minute, Miss Amy. We're collaborating. No, he's fired.
No,
that's not collaborating.
No, I mean that is.
So we need to. They need to lose the word. Okay, move on from collaboration.
Maybe so. Maybe they need to lose the word.
Because I don't disagree with you. Right. She is the owner. She has the right to do that. But let's stop with the collaboration.
Because that's where they are. Here it is. It is her vision for her organization, not the team. Her vision for her organization, not the team.
Does that sound like collaboration to you?
Well, no.
No, it's not.
No. But that's the thing. So when it's her vision for her organization, not the team, that means you're out here trying to execute her vision.
How you going to do that?
Well, first of all, you have to buy into whatever her vision is. Well, first of all, you have to understand what her vision is.
No, you don't.
You have to understand. You have to understand what it is. Number one,
it doesn't matter if you buy in or not.
No, well, it certainly helps.
It does, because when you put it that away, you then become a lot of these owners that we make fun of.
What do you mean? We become
the ones that are always meddling, the ones that are always jumping in there and making decisions when the people around them are like, oh,
well,
we're doing this again. Really? we're going to draft Johnny Manziel? Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
again,
are.
That's not collaboration.
No.
That's the owner saying.
That is the owner saying, I want
Johnny Football.
I want Johnny Football. Or VY is my guy.
VY is my guy.
Yeah.
Oh,
this is what we're doing.
Right. That's not collaborating.
Yeah. I mean, but it's the NFL. Let's try it this way. It's the NFL's version of collaboration. How about that? It's the collaboration of whatever the owner of these, they set the parameters, and then you need to collaborate under my idea. So you have to collaborate under my idea. That's the collaboration part.
Here's where fans and media deserve more. Okay?
Come on with it.
One, what you just said is true, and that's not an NFL thing.
That's true.
That's a sports thing.
Well,
that's a business thing.
That's a business thing.
It's a business thing. Okay? When you own it, you get final say.
Oh, yeah.
How you run it is your choice.
That's correct.
Okay? It's not a sport. It's not an NFL thing. It's an every business thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the NFL is a business. So that fits under that umbrella. Whenever, and I just lost my train of thought.
It's a business thing. It's not a sports thing. It's a business thing. And whenever certain people do what? Whenever they set a direction, whenever they set a vision. I'm sorry, I don't know where you were going.
Here's why the media. Okay, I just thought of it.
Okay.
Jeez, old age sucks.
It can.
Or maybe it's just trying to multitask, which is hard. This is why the media and the fans, and it's really the fans, but sometimes the media is how the fans get their information. Or a lot of times, that's how they get their information. So you have to lump them in together. If you're going to do whatever you want to do, and that is perfectly within your rights because you own the team.
Yeah.
You can do, if you want to fire John Robinson in the middle of the season, you can fire John Robinson in the middle of the season. If you want to tell us that Mike Mularkey is safe and then fire him the next week, you can do that.
You can.
If you want to say Mike Grable was going to be here for a long time and then 6 weeks later he's not, you can do that.
Yeah.
That's your choice.
Yeah.
But you can't do these canned 4 and 5 minute interviews with your employee where the questions have been written out. And I'm not blaming Mike Keith for this. Mike Keith is the voice of the Titans, and signs his paycheck.
Mike Keith is doing what he's supposed to do.
I thought, honestly, he did the best he could possibly do in the situation that he was in.
He did.
Okay? But she does canned interviews. It's basically a take-home test. And I got nothing against take-home tests. I wish all my tests in school were take-home tests. I would have done better. But she gets a take-home test when she speaks. And it's rare when she does. And when she does, it's a take-home test. But someone has to be able to get up there, Justin, to your point, and lay out things. Okay, this is why. You can't say, we're doing it, and it's none ya. None ya? It's none ya business. What?
Mm-hmm.
It actually is. That they buy tickets. They buy merch. They're the reason you exist. If they don't show up, like I get it, they got TV contracts, but you need those people. It ain't none ya. Like they deserve to know. By the way, the media covers your product. They are constantly pumping up your product and telling people about your product, which does grow interest. So people do deserve to know something. You can't say, we got a secret. Secret. I got a secret. This is how we're doing things, and we'll tell you whenever we feel like telling you. That ain't a good look, Justin. That ain't a good way to run
Darren,
a business.
This is what they've been doing, though. This is not new.
Is that a good thing?
No, but this is not new, though.
Has anyone around the league ever said, you know what? The Tennessee Titans, let me just say this. They are such a well-oiled machine. When I think of great franchises, I usually start with the Tennessee Titans. Have you ever heard anybody say that?
No.
Around the league, on a national platform, have you seen anybody write that? Have you ever heard that anywhere?
No.
Okay, so is that a good way to run it?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. But, but again, we all know that there's good organizations or blue chip organizations and then middle of the road organizations, then there's bad organizations. We could run through the list of the historically bad organizations.
And more times than not, they've been listed in the bad organization category.
Well,
maybe not to the levels of the Jets and the Lions and the Browns.
They're not the Clippers now. Let's not get it carried away now.
Knicks, Clippers, I get it, but they certainly are not far above them.
No, they're not the Yankees or the Steelers. No one's gonna confuse them with those particular teams. But to me, they're somewhere in the middle of the road. To me, more than they're great or bad. But this is the way that they and a lot of other teams have conducted their business, and that's the not fun part, but the interesting part. I will say about the NFL is you got 32 of these guys and women who conduct business in very different ways. And it depends on, you can go from city to city, and they're all going to do it a little differently. Some of them, I think sometimes we're lucky. There's probably some ownership who has not spoken to their fan base in years. Probably. I don't know where they are, but I would venture to say there's some ownership somewhere that has not spoken to their fan base in years in any way, shape, or form, and they don't have to.
Well, the Predators don't really speak the ownership. That group hasn't spoken. For the most, Tom Cigaran did a little bit. They have a little bit over the years, a little bit.
The profile is not quite as high either on the NHL level.
But they're a professional sports team, and they're in our market.
They are.
So, they're an NHL franchise.
They are.
But they also have, if you're not going to do that, they have people in place who will.
Oh, yeah.
And who will answer
very good at speaking for the organization.
And that's what they don't have. Who's that?
Well, for the Predators, it's Sean Henry.
Carthon. No, I know that. I'm saying, who's that for the Titans? Who?
Well, there's nobody who speaks for it. But okay, well, and I'm sorry, we need to go to break here. But I will say that Sean Henry does speak for the Predators organization, but Darren, he speaks for them for the off-the-ice stuff. If there are front office moves that are questionable, he does not speak for the on-the-ice stuff.
And David Poile has always been available.
He has made himself available.
Barry Trotz has too.
Yeah. I will give you that. But I'm just saying that, they do have separate compartments.
Rand Carthon, where has he been the last year?
We don't know.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
He's been around, but
no, I know
he's not spoken to the media.
That's what I'm getting at.
He acknowledged that.
Who's speaking? Okay, that's fine. She doesn't want to talk. Okay, that's fine. You got to have someone. You're a business. You're a huge business. Someone has to talk. Well, they could have played this under Rand when he was talking about Vrabel. I would have actually liked this when he was like, everything's cool. Me and Vrabes are cool.
Let's say, what is happening?
We just went to dinner, a romantic dinner, just a couple nights ago. We had a great conversation. Me and Vrabes are tight. Me and Vrabes are like this. We are in lockstep. But he just got fired. I know, but we're in lockstep. We're reunited. And it feels good.
They're going to have to reunite New England.
All right. We'll take a break. Thank you, DJ Damon. 615-844.
Playing the slow jams and the oldies.
5600. Bill, we'll start things off with you. If you want to react to that press conference yesterday or everything that's transpired in the last 24, 36 hours, you can do so as you listen to the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
Ready for a touchdown of flavor and excitement? Look no further than Sam's Place and Sam's Sports Grill, the ultimate destination for great food, fantastic drinks, and game time atmosphere that will have you cheering for more. Sam's is the place for every sports fan and food lover with over 40 TVs at every location. Sam's has a family-friendly atmosphere where everyone can have a blast. From their friendly staff to awesome kids menu, they've got something for everyone. Online at samsplace.net or samsportsgrill.com, or call and find the nearest location to you. At Sam's, the game is always on and the fun never stops.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-617-0239. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-617-0239. That's 800-617-0239. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
We all know that Nashville life can get hectic. In the middle of all the madness that is life, don't forget to take care of yourself. Treat yourself to Nashville's ultimate relaxation experience at Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel. With services for men and women, Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel is your one-stop shop for full body treatment. Begin your experience in the exquisite relaxation room, then enjoy a full body treatment or even a couples massage before finishing in the salon. Located on the 4th floor of the Omni Nashville Hotel, Mocara Spa is Nashville's highest quality self-care oasis. To book your experience or gain information on packages, call Mocara Spa today at 615-761-3600. Again, 615-761-3600, or log on to theomnihotel.com. And with every booking, you'll have free valet parking and rooftop pool access to enjoy the Music City skyline. And through Labor Day, enjoy the 4th floor spa terrace for only $20. Mocara Spa at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
And now, Tennessee Heat and Air is reminding Americans to show support to the brave men and women who serve our U.S. military. Their tireless efforts should never go unnoticed. This message is brought to you by Tennessee Heat and Air. For all your residential or commercial heating and air repairs, maintenance, and installations, give the pros a call today at 615-856-3610. 615-856-3610. That's Tennessee Heat and Air, proudly saluting our troops and veterans. They're professionals who care.
The TSU men's basketball squad came through a challenging non-conference schedule with a winning record and now turned their attention to Ohio Valley Conference play. The Tigers kicked off a run of 18 league games over a 9-week period through February, leading the OVC Championships March 6th to the 9th at the Ford Center in Evansville. And part of that, 9 league home games at the Gentry Center. Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join longtime TSU broadcaster Albert Dawson and me on all the games this season right here on Nashville Sports Radio.
Welcome back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
615-844-5600 is how you get in touch with us. Remember, you can watch the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. If you go to YouTube, you just type in WNSR Live, all one word. You can make comments there, too. We'll read them on air if you choose to do so. We're in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. We'll do our final top 10. It'll be our playoff top 10 coming up in the second hour. Let's go to Bill. Bill, what's up?
Well, fellas, what you guys were discussing earlier during your, I'll call it opening monologue, really will work nicely into my question. Compare and contrast the current, what we are seeing currently and over the past few years with the Titans, compare them to what we saw during the Floyd Reese run Titans.
Okay, say it again, Bill, one more time.
Okay. In what way, Bill?
Compare and contrast the Floyd Reese run Titans, which I think was fairly well run in my opinion, versus the crap show that we've seen over the past 7 to 10 years.
Hold on, Bill, but I want to be clear. Compare and contrast them in what way, and wins and losses,
and how they were run, and how they handled, as Darren said, communication.
Okay, all right,
and that kind of thing. Because I thought that as a general manager and as a person who was kind of out front, I thought Floyd Reese did a really good job with the Titans, especially during those years of getting the good draft picks, coming into, in 99, all of a sudden, boom, we're a Super Bowl team, going to the Super Bowl, and even after that. But then once he left, things have gone steadily downhill. And I kind of want to compare and contrast those two eras.
Okay. All right, Bill. Appreciate the phone call as always. Okay, yeah.
Interesting. But
we will definitely try to tackle
Sure.
this. Okay. A little bit different set of circumstances.
Very.
Floyd Reese and Jeff Fisher were taking over a brand new franchise and a brand new market.
That is correct.
And it was very odd to be an NFL team playing in 1997 in Memphis and then 1998 at Vanderbilt Stadium and conducting business in trailers over across the street from a mall in Bellevue.
Yeah.
Okay. Doing training camp at TSU.
Yeah.
Just did not look, it did not feel like an NFL team.
It did not.
You had to go to locker rooms at Vanderbilt on Sundays in the 1998 season, and you couldn't even fit everybody in there. They made the media most of the time stand outside the locker room and talk to players outside the locker room because there was no room in the way the old system was set up. You couldn't even go in there.
There's one tunnel.
Yes, and there was one. That's right,
and there still is. But there's one.
Well, I don't know what it looks like now. I mean,
they're doing construction, obviously. They're doing renovation.
So
but
I don't know what it is.
Up until recently, there was still one tunnel. But okay.
So, but the other set of circumstances is they knew and embraced it. They didn't have to. Okay, let me just say that really loud and clear. They were still an NFL team, whether they were conducting business out of trailers across the street from from a mall, and doing basically nothing like an NFL team does today. They could have easily just said, we're an NFL team. We're here now, and you just deal with it. But they understood that they needed to get out there in the community. They needed to go out. Floyd Reese would go work luncheons. Jeff Fisher would too. The players had shows. The players were out in the community. The team understood that they were new to Nashville, and they were going to try to basically get out in the community, roll up their sleeves, and try to get as many people to like their product as possible. Okay? Again, they didn't have to do it, and they did. To their credit, they understood it. Floyd Reese, when he was the general manager of the Tennessee Titans, several stops ago, on Fridays at 5 o'clock for an entire hour, year-round. Let me think about that. Was it year-round or just during the season? And then maybe spots in the offseason. Maybe it wasn't year-round. During the season and maybe spots, around the draft, around free agency period, big times, right? Training camp, obviously, would come on our show in Afternoon Drive and do an hour with us. No matter where we were, whether we were at a car dealership, we were at a church, didn't matter where we were, or in studio, he'd show up and do an hour on radio in this market every single Friday in the 5 o'clock hour. Now, you tell me how many general managers around the league do that.
Not many.
And the general managers that followed him, Mike Reinfeldt was a super nice guy. He tried to follow in Floyd's footsteps. He did the radio thing, and it didn't last very long because it was just hard, man. It just wasn't comfortable for him. It's not comfortable for everybody.
Nope.
For Floyd, he was very, very comfortable. He was a very sociable guy. Mike wasn't so much. Rustin Webster didn't do that. John Robinson didn't do that. And so far, Rand Carthon has done very, very little in a year. Jeff Fisher got it as a coach. Ken Wisenhunt got nothing, literally nothing. He would lock himself in a Titans cave to never be seen again. Luckily, he wasn't here very long because Ken Whisenhunt wanted nothing to do with anybody, including former players. Wanted nothing to do with anybody. So everything I said about Floyd, he was completely the opposite. And Jeff, he was completely the opposite. Mike Mularkey was a little tough with the media. I'm not tough, but he really wasn't going to let you get too close.
He was guarded.
Guarded. There's a good word. He
was
guarded.
Yeah.
And, I think Mike Vrabel, while I didn't agree with everything, Justin, overall, I thought did a good job. He really did. He didn't, overall, I didn't always agree with how he handled things, and sometimes it's contentious. Some of the stuff he'd get, talk about. I didn't always agree with all that stuff, but you know what? We'll say he usually stood, and there were many times, again, dysfunction. No one to talk, and he's up there doing the talking for everybody when he has no business in that spot. Somebody else from the organization should have done it. So I will give him a more than passing grade. I will give him a good grade in how he handled things 6 years on his watch.
This is what I will say about this particular subject, and I agree with everything that you're saying here. Jeff Fisher was a perfect fit for this community at the time in which he came along. Very much like Barry Trotz was, honestly.
Agreed, 100%.
In that they were friendly.
Barry and David.
And David Poyle as well. Approachable people who did not mind talking to people, who did not think so highly of themselves that, they couldn't be bothered with people, could bring themselves down to talk to the average person very easily.
Yes.
And be able to do and move around in that way. My lasting memory, and obviously Darren had a much closer relationship with Floyd Reese than I ever could, but my lasting memories of Floyd Reese will forever be training camp. Why training camp? Because Floyd Reese would literally stand on the sideline with the media.
And talk.
Yep. Now, the front office folks are around, but they don't have to be around us, the media. The media, they kind of tell us where we can be and can't be and that kind of a thing. There's kind of a social clause of where we are and that kind of a thing. Darren was doing live shows at that point, so he wasn't out there with the beat and the television folks like I was. So, he had a different setup. So he's, working, like literally working during that time. But Floyd Reese, and this, would literally be out there standing along with us, having small talk about anything, about cars, about football, about different kind of things. You could read his body language because he's watching practice. You can read his body language when he sees certain things. He had one rule. He wasn't going to talk about money. He would talk to you about years on contracts and whether or not somebody was going to be a serious issue when it came to the salary cap and tough decisions. And, if you asked him, you saw a play, you look at him and you go, that wasn't good. He was like, yeah, it wasn't good. You could read certain things about him, and he would actually talk to you like you were a human being and did not mind doing so. And that
he didn't look down on you.
Not even a little bit, and he was a guy who could, and he did not. Not to say that Rand Carthen has done that to me. I don't know Rand Carthen. I've interviewed him that one time we had him on the show. I don't know the man. I'm just saying
and he was
that.
Great
and he was great when he came on, and I hope he comes back. All I'm saying is this. It was a very different set of circumstances because that's what the market needed at that particular moment. They needed to be able to give a warm hug to the NFL franchise that was new in town that, to be honest, Darren, and this, was fighting the Tennessee Volunteers for attention because no one knew who they were really. No one knew what to make of them. When you go to Titans games in the early part of that, and the Vanderbilt years, the stadium was filled with orange everywhere because that was the prevailing team. The opening games over at Adelphia Coliseum, they too filled with orange as well over there because no one knew anything about the team. Peyton Manning jerseys everywhere because he had just joined the Colts. So there were more 16 orange jerseys and then 18 blue jerseys than Steve McNair jerseys for a long time.
People who weren't here, that's a fact.
For a long time.
That's a fact.
So they needed to be able to come into the market and make a splash and be able to say, hey, we're here for you guys, we're talking to you guys, we're doing the thing. And they did that. This group, that work has been laid. They don't need to do that anymore, and they don't. Not in the same. They don't. And not in the same way.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not their forte, Darren.
Because what? Everything's been great over there, and every game's a sellout, and it's the hottest thing going, and they don't need to do anything.
I'm not saying they don't need to. I'm just saying that they don't do it as much anymore as they used to. And I'm not sure, a lot of things have changed, obviously, over the years. But, even simple things, and I know things have changed. Training camp being open. The fact that they've shut off training camp
is a horrible move.
Listen, it was a thing to where the fans could go out and actually see the team up close and personal. Can't do it anymore.
It's a horrible move.
Can't do it anymore.
In my opinion.
And, Jeff Fisher, and I can say this, I can really say this comfortably now. Jeff Fisher, and we got to go to break. Jeff Fisher, during those open scrimmages at the stadium, would actually play to the crowd a little bit.
Absolutely.
Throw the ball in the air a little bit. Do something a little bit just to get the fans a little excited about. I went to the Mike Vrabel open rehearsal or open practice over at Nissan Stadium.
Feel the same?
The same?
I knew the answer.
What? Listen, it was about as run-of-the-mill of a practice that you will ever see. It made no reference to the fact that the fans were there in any way, shape, or form. None. And I know the difference because I've been to both. So I know the difference between the two. And he made no reference or effort to reach out to the fan base there were thousands of people there watching them, and you wouldn't even know it.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back. Tony, we'll get to you on the other side. 615-844-5600. More of the McFarland Show next.
And now for today's winning Cash 3 and Cash 4 numbers from the Tennessee Lottery. The first number is the number you just thought of. The second number is the number you would have picked. The third number is the day of your wedding anniversary. And the fourth number
They're only lucky numbers if you decide to play them. Cash 3 and Cash 4, only from the Tennessee Lottery. Game-changing fun. Please play responsibly.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare. And in the process, started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. If we take you as a client, I guarantee we'll cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. 800-462-3333.
This is the Grant Pogue and John Burton Show.
Couldn't be happier for you.
Well,
Papa Pogue.
12:26 a.m. yesterday morning. Grace, Alice Rose, 8 pounds, 1 ounce, 20 inches, and all is well. I didn't cry. when I held her for the first time. I'd already cried the first time I saw her.
Greg Pogue and News Channel 5's John Burton, WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
5-state forecast.
Your exclusive National Sports Radio, WNSR Sky Scan forecast. For this afternoon, we're going to be mostly sunny. High temperature will be 48 degrees. Mainly clear tonight, low 24. A sunny day for Thursday, milder with a high of 56. Then showers Friday. Utilizing the resources of the WeatherBug Network on National Sports Radio, I'm WNSR's meteorologist, Jim Rinaldi.
Sports Radio, WNSR.
You're listening live from the Strike and Spare Studios, downtown Music City. It's the McFarland Show.
Pete Carroll is out as the Seahawks coach, if you haven't heard. That happened right before we took to the airwaves. I know we've been a little bit busy. Pete Carroll out as Seattle's head coach. He will now be an advisor. Okay. By the way, before the Seahawks game here on Christmas Eve, we had on their play-by-play man, and you asked him about Pete Carroll and his future.
Point blank.
He, I think it was Steve, right? Play-by-play man?
Believe so.
And Robele or something, Steve Robele, I think that's right. And he said, Pete Carroll's in great health. He's, 72, and he got tons of energy. And
well, again, I asked the wrong question. I asked the question, how surprised would you be if Pete Carroll called a press conference and said, hey, guys, it's been great. It's been fun. But, it's time for me to move on. He said he'd be shocked if Pete Carroll did that.
Yeah.
What I didn't ask him is how shocked would you be if the Seattle Seahawks organization decided that this was the end of the line for Pete Carroll, which it sounds like that is more likely what has happened there.
But he is the play-by-play man. So you asked the right question because you can only go certain levels.
I understand.
Team employees, right?
I understand.
Nothing against them, but I mean,
no.
No.
I do.
If we had on a Seattle Seahawks beat writer, for the Athletic, then you can ask away.
Sure.
But somebody who works for the team, they're not gonna say that,
No.
even if they thought that could happen. All right, let's go to Tony. Tony, what's up?
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
First of all, little happy news here. First of all, is Austin Peay finished the regular season and the season itself being ranked number 12, being ranked 12th in the FCS coaches poll. I wanted to pass that on to you a little bit. And their recruiting's coming on really good. With Coach Ferris only been up there just a couple of weeks, has been able to hit the portal and get quarterback from East Carolina. I think he was a backup. Got a receiver coming in from Duke. And on some of the recruits they signed, got a linebacker from Pearl Cone. Got another guy, I think, out of Germantown. And they're hitting the ground running. They're going after they said there's a lot of Tennessee recruits here. We've heard Derek Mason say it. There's a lot of good high school football players around here, and it's going to be interesting to see schools go after, these 3 and 4 stars. And they don't always have to be 5. That's why coaches get to coach them up. So just wanted to pass that on to you.
It's actually been really cool that you said that the transfer portal, we always think it's, this guy went from Auburn to Oregon. Well, those things do happen, right? Or Lord knows Vanderbilt's had enough people leave and go to other SEC schools.
Mm-hmm.
But I just saw this morning where Bobby Wilder, who we had on this program, Tennessee Tech, new football coach, he just got 3 kids from the portal, a kid from Missouri, a kid from App State,
all right,
and a kid from East Carolina. And I was
there
like,
you go.
Okay. You got kids coming from those programs to Cookeville, Tennessee. Wow, okay. And then to what you just said with Austin Peay.
And when you get these guys, when they were recruited at that previous university, they had to be a pretty top-notch kid coming out of high school. So, yeah, that's bringing the whole level of play of the FCS up. I mean, it just is. So, but I wanted to pass that good news on. Now about this mess over here with the Titans. She has created a mess, guys. It is a teetotal mess, and she has Gentry Estes wrote yesterday or 2 days ago. She's got a mess to clean up. And with the new coach, whoever they go get, the new coach is going to have to come in and he's going to be told who he has to adhere to, listen to, or is equal to the general manager or what. But ultimately, it's her team and the business aspect. But it's just a mess what they're going. They've tried to got a piece together now as a coaching staff. Not to mention replacement players for what they're going to do with running back, and we've got the pieces in place, but are they going to stick with them? You just don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah, the thing that really jumped out to me is, it's one time. If it were to happen one time, okay. If it happens 2 times, okay. But yesterday, now that there's been this, Malarkey and John Robinson and Mike Vrabel, look, and I said it yesterday, so I don't know why I'm like these moves are starting to feel like her dad. I mean, while I've sat here and praised her and said you're so much better the owner than your father was, and I'm not
You're
meaning
the third person, Darren. I've heard.
I'm not meaning to insult her, but now acting like the way she's been, it's just flip flopping. Like one day you're getting a contract extension, the next day, there's not going anywhere, and the next day you're fired. It's like that's stuff that Bud Adams
and then
did.
She goes and hides behind Mike Keith.
And then goes and does a canned interview. It's like, oh.
Yeah, what was that? And so that brings me to one more point, guys, now to get off here. You got another female director that's in charge of a program down on West End. Is she going to make the right call this year and get rid of Stackhouse? I mean, last night he got beat by a player that was on the team just last year, Jordan Wright, who had a pretty good game last night against him at LSU.
Right, there you go. There's another one. A guy from Vanderbilt playing at LSU.
Right. Duty over at South Carolina hit 2 or 3 shots the other day for them and playing pretty good over there.
By the way, have you seen who's tearing it up for Belmont this year? I mean,
Dia.
Tearing it up.
Player of the week.
Yep, tearing it up.
Yeah, so that's just down the road. So is she going to make the right decision and is she going to hand out a pink slip? Because there's one needs to go there too. So I just wanted to throw those things out there, guys. But thank you for taking my calls always. Good topic, but there's a lot of messes around town right now that's got to get cleaned up.
Very true. Thank you, Tony, as always. Appreciate it. I actually had 2 people reach out to me last night and said, who's a bigger mess right now, the Titans or Vanderbilt? And I said, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's really Vanderbilt by miles. And I can't believe I'm saying that. That just, Vanderbilt just looks like just a complete rudderless ship just floating out in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And the Titans got their fair share. Don't get me wrong, but to me, if you're comparing the two, it's really not close. Vanderbilt is just a hot mess right now, and on a lot of fronts. Although the women's basketball team's 15-1.
Yeah.
They're playing well. All right, let's do this. We got more people that want to talk. Come back, wrap up first hour, get more calls in next.
Do you ever feel like gambling is causing financial strain or hurting your relationships? The Gambling Clinic has been helping people who want to change their gambling habits for over 2 decades. With physical clinics and remote online appointments, we're here to help you make informed decisions about your gambling so it doesn't lead to a bigger problem. Visit us at thegamblingclinic.com so we can work together to help you win your life back. This project is funded by the Tennessee Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services.
Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel downtown is at the heart of Music City. Located within walking distance of the Country Music Hall of Fame, Bar Lines at the Omni is your downtown honky-tonk destination. Watch your team from any seat on their plentiful HD TVs and catch a live show on the Bar Lines stage featuring live music 7 days a week. Bar Lines has the ultimate Southern comfort food. Get started with classic fried green tomatoes or bourbon barbecue wings. Then it's on to the massive Smashville double stack, or the world famous bar lines grinder. Oh, you've never heard of the bar lines grinder? 2 kinds of cheese, lettuce, Dijon, smoked turkey, smoked bacon, smoked ham. Now that's some smoke you want. Local brews and local spirits are on tap at Bar Lines. Take a seat on the patio outside and soak up the rhythm of Music City. Bar Lines at the Omni Nashville Hotel, 5th Avenue, downtown.
Gas, groceries, utilities, you name it, the price of everything is going up. And if you're stuck in a bad timeshare with rising maintenance fees, the financial burden can be crushing. It is time to get your finances in order and get the real facts about that timeshare that you are stuck in and your options to get rid of it. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has been helping families out of horrible timeshares for over 10 years and has put together a complete timeshare exit information kit that he will send you absolutely free. To date, over 30,000 families have trusted Wesley Financial Group to help them out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. Get the facts about how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Simply call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit and see how you can become timeshare free. Call 800-462-3333. That's 800-462-3333. Once again, 800-462-3333.
Cool Deck LLC, the Dexpert, is asking listeners to please donate a toy to Toys for Tots this holiday season. You could make a difference in a child's life. This message is brought to you by Cool Deck LLC for decorative concrete, resurfacing for patios, sidewalks, garages, pool decks, and more. Give the pros a call today at 615-836-9595. 615-836-9595. Visit cooldeck.com and like them on Facebook. That's Cool Deck LLC. They're professionals who care.
Hey, it's John Burton from News Channel 5 and the Greg Pogue and John Burton Show.
And I'm former All-Pro linebacker for the Tennessee Titans, also known as Mr. Monday Night, Keith Bullock.
And I'm Patton Cook. We're inviting you to join us every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 for What's Good with KB and JB, the podcast show.
All live on Nashville Sports Radio and all streaming platforms.
We talk Titans, we talk SEC football, we talk NBA, we talk everything, and we also get a little petty from time to time.
Make sure you join us.
Welcome back to the Strike and Spare Studios. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
615-844-5600. We're live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studios. Back to the phones. Dr. Detroit. Dee, what's up?
Hey, so far so good. Spot on performance for this first segment. Real quick, want to congratulate the Big Blue Nation on winning the NCAA championship. And wouldn't it be ironic if the Baltimore Ravens, under another Hallball brother, wins it? Also, Darren, I was a huge Kel Yarborough fan. I record Jane Pauley's CBS Morning Show every Sunday in 60 Minutes, and they always show who passed away, the week before. And
yep.
I saw Kel Yarborough, my heart just dropped, man. Dropped because
very sad.
I saw him at the Nashville 420 winning the race with having the whole field 2 to 3 laps down. Darren, did Amy Schuler Adams did she even just have a brief powwow with Mike and just saying, okay, what do you need, or what do we go from there? Were we bad on offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, or just a plain cut and dry, we think we need to move on? Because I'll tell you what, everywhere from Fox Sports to ESPN cannot figure out, and absolutely disgraceful about Mike Vrabel no longer being our coach at the Titans. Your input on that, sir.
Okay.
Oh, hey, and like real quick, and you of course, Darren, not only did y'all do a great job, the great Floyd Reeves, what a gentleman, how polite he was to me back when he worked for the Lions back in the mid-'70s, but even Barry Trotz would get out there and promote the Predators like no other, and I think we've had really solid coaches from Barry Trotz and Mike Vrabel to it's just dumbfounded, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you as always. It's a good question. We haven't really talked about that. Because I have thoughts. And Michigan, by the way, if you'll hang, we'll get to you on the other side before we start our top 10.
Yeah.
Get your thoughts.
Yeah.
I don't believe it was, Mike, can you have a seat? Hey, just wanted to let you know we're going to go in a different direction. I don't believe, without knowing, I don't believe that's how that went down.
Not even close.
I think that there were suggestions made of his staff, which you know. I've been on record. I've said many, many times on this show, I have been underwhelmed by his staff. He's got to do better with his staff. I believe that's a subject that came up, and I believe Mike Vrabel did what a lot of coaches do. They dig in, and they're like, nope, you're not going to tell me who's on my staff and who's not.
Yeah.
And I also do wonder, now I know we don't have much time.
No.
I do wonder if she said, Mike, do you really want to be here?
I think she knows Mike wants to be here. I think.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I just don't believe that.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe that Mike wanted to be here under the circumstances that were being laid out.
Well, okay, but what besides the coaches, what other circumstances?
Control over the roster, which was never made clear to begin with.
But that may be a reason to say that he really didn't want to be here, right?
Under what rule?
All right, we'll come back. Michigan, we'll get to you on the other side to begin hour 2. That's next.
560 AM, 95.9 FM, Brentwood, Nashville, 107.9 FM, Smyrna, Nashville's first 24-hour sports station. WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. In California, emergency crews working to rescue victims trapped following an avalanche at Lake Tahoe's Palisades Ski Resort.
It's unclear how big the avalanche was, but Palisades Tahoe, formerly Squaw Valley Ski Resort, confirms an avalanche did occur and searches are underway. Both sides of the mountain are closed. Heavy snow has been falling in the area. It was apparently in bounds of the ski resort. Ambulances have responded, and there are reports of skiers being trapped under snow.
ABC's Alex Stone. Hunter Biden making a surprise appearance today at the House Oversight Committee hearing. It comes as the Judiciary Committee is also weighing a resolution to hold Biden in contempt for defying a subpoena last month to sit for a deposition over his business dealings. Hunter Biden says he wants to testify publicly. In Iowa, the stage is set for tonight's final debate before next week's caucuses. Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis qualified along with former President Trump. He leads in the polls but won't participate. This is ABC News.
Pizza's here. Oh, great. I'd love some, but I'm worried about my stomach issues.
If you're worried about having diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose, oily stools, it may not just be stomach issues. It could be a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and talk to your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
My doctor told me my blood pressure is borderline. I figured I could worry about it or do something about it. So I took control with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula. It works safely and naturally to help maintain healthy blood pressure with a custom blend of garlic, vitamins, and minerals. And it's odor-free. I'm taking charge with Garlic Healthy Blood Pressure Formula.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio.
We all make resolutions this time of year. And let's face it, most of them won't stick. But here's one that's not only easy to keep, but will help you feel healthier all year long. Navage. Navage provides quick, drug-free nasal relief by washing saline in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out of the other nostril. This time of year, when everyone is sick, Navage helps by sucking out germs, bacteria, and viruses trapped in our noses that cause us to feel miserable. And come allergy season, it does the same with dust, pollen, and other allergens. And unlike medications that can take time to help, if they're effective at all, Navage helps treat congestion symptoms in seconds flat, without drugs. This New Year's, resolve to use drug-free Navage to help you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier all year long. Ask for Navage at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, or find us online at Navage.com. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Listen, you can't handle the truth. It's about to go off. Live from the WNSR Strike and Spare Studios.
Just a bit outside.
Now back to the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
Show me the money!
Call or Text now. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Call us or send us a text on the WNSR text line. 615-844-5600. 615-844-5600. Call or text. Same number.
Alrighty then.
Now, the McFarland Show with Darren and Justin.
Second hour of the program here on this Wednesday afternoon, rolling along, and we are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. In just a moment, we'll get to our NFL Top 10 like we've done all season long to begin the second hour, but we've had lots of people wanting to talk, and this just in. Sports Talk Radio was built on host interacting with callers, not just host sitting on here for hours on end every day, just spewing out whatever's on their mind and not caring what anybody thinks. So we care that you want to talk. We want to talk to you. And so sometimes we'll even shift things if you want to talk because, again, Sports Talk Radio was built on interaction between phone callers and host, not host sitting there just telling you their thoughts, their opinions on hours on end every day, sometimes just making up stuff to fill time. That's not how Sports Talk Radio was built. So with that being said, let's go to the phone, 615-844-5600. Let's go to Michigan. Michigan, what's up?
Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Darren, was that a subtle shot at Jim Rome? You don't let the clones rack these locks.
Oh no, Jim Rome absolutely believes in phone callers.
He does still take calls.
He's built an empire.
He's one of the few national guys. Yeah,
he's built. Well, look, no, Paul Feinbaum and Jim Rome have built empires of phone callers. So when people in this market or other markets tell you, phone calls, they're not important. Yeah, well, get a clue. Actually, that's how Sports Talk Radio was built.
Have a take, don't suck.
Paul still takes calls live on Al Gore's internet and on ESPN every single day. It's amazing. He does a great job at it.
Only on Al Gore's internet, though. Only on that
Only on Al Gore's internet. Really quick anecdote about Floyd, because you brought up Floyd and it got me in my feelings a little bit. I had the opportunity, and I've lived in the Nashville area, since I was, 17 years old. I had the opportunity on many occasions to talk to Floyd in an environment where he was a patron in some of the establishments that I operated for companies that I worked for. I never had one conversation with him about football because he found out that I was born and raised just outside of Flint, that I was a lifelong Lions fan, that my dad worked in Pontiac around the same time that he was there. And we had a lot of conversations about how beautiful Michigan is at certain times of the year, about Benton Harbor Township, about our families. Floyd is somebody that I think of often and miss often. So that was a nice anecdote for you to throw out there. I feel bad for people, especially newer people in the national media, who did not get to spend time with Floyd, because Floyd was one of the most authentic people I've ever met my entire life. And I've met a lot of people
100%.
who have been on TV and have been famous, and, some of them are great and some of them are not. Like they say, it's a little bit of a mixed bag.
Genuine.
Floyd Reese was one of the most genuine human beings I've ever encountered. And I do think about him pretty often. So that was nice of you to bring that up.
Yep. Well, it's true. And people like you, Michigan, and others who have been in this town longer than 5 minutes and who did have interactions with him, you were nodding your head because you knew exactly what I was talking about.
I was nodding my head.
Yeah. Because what you said is true.
I have an interesting thought about this Vrabel thing. And first of all, if we're calculating winners and losers, a big loser is Diana Rossini. She's going to have to find somebody else in that building to get stuff from. But if we're trying to grab onto some winners, the winner is the rest of the NFL. I cannot recall a dismissal that has been more widely panned by the national media than this one. I haven't seen a single person. Maybe you guys have. I haven't. I haven't seen a single person come around and go, well, I can kind of see it from this angle. I mean, universally, everyone's like, what are they doing? You are never going to upgrade in this chair from what you had. You are staring down a long, dark, deep road. And I called in to say this. There's probably no greater expert other than our friend Dr. D, who called in a few minutes ago, us lifelong Lions people. There are perhaps no greater transplants down here in this area to speak to the ills of a top-down organization when the top is bad. And I don't know Amy. I don't know whether she's good or bad. I go to Titans games. I enjoy going. I love the team, but I'm not a season ticket holder, right? And I'm not, the Titans are not a priority for me over the Lions, but I enjoy the product. It is very, very difficult to succeed when you have an owner that has a I'm the ship captain, what I say goes type of posture towards their organization. You said in the first hour that she owns it, right? She has the right. I own my iPhone. I have a right to do whatever I want with it. Doesn't mean it's going to be a good decision if I decide to chuck it down a flight of stairs. So she has that right by the fact that she is the owner and CEO of the Titans organization. But as someone who's followed an organization for his entire life that had very, very bad leadership at the top and a lot of people with the same last name before Sheila Ford Hamp took over the Lions every day. Be careful, Titans fans. There's going to be a big, beautiful, brand new football stadium in a couple of years on that same site. But what's going to be in it? There's a very, very uncertain future around that now. And I think this is dangerous territory. These are dark, choppy waters. We'll see whether or not they can navigate it. I'm going to run, guys.
Well
Thanks for the
said,
time,
Michigan. And by the way, congrats again on your natty.
Absolutely. Enjoy that.
That was well said. I have been asked a lot here lately, 24 hours. What do you think? What's your take? Because the outside, the other markets, they're all, and I'm not surprised at all.
No.
They're like, wow, like really? It's like, so what is your take on it? And I have tried to be as open and honest and raw as I could possibly be, because a lot of it's just literally soaking it all in. Because while we sat here every day and talked about the smoke, and I said, you better understand, if these stories keep coming out like this, there's something going on. I don't know where this is going, but something's going on. This is not being made up. I did the same thing for an entire offseason about Tom Brady. You can keep poo-pooing it. Something's going on, okay? And guess what? He left and went to Tampa. I didn't know we were going to be talking about that yesterday. I didn't know that at 11:45 we're going to get the news that Mike Vrabel's out, he's fired as the head coach. So when I say raw, it's like now you're trying to wrap your head around all this and lay everything out in your head. And this is basically what I've told.
Okay.
Kind of the Cliff Notes version,
Okay.
Justin.
All right. I'm listening.
I said, I do believe Mike Vrabel can coach. I do.
I agree.
I believe if I was doing a pros and a cons list, I think I would have a pretty good list of pros, but I would also have a pretty good list of cons. And that's something kind of the national narrative, the national media, people outside of this market, they don't seem to really have a cons list. It seems to be all very pro Mike Vrabel, and I can't agree with that. I cannot be on board with that. I feel like he can coach. I feel like he relates to players. I believe a lot of the players, not all the players, relate to him.
Yes.
And I think that's a good thing. I think Mike Vrabel handled himself again. Wasn't perfect. I think he made a lot of mistakes as a first-time head coach. I pointed out those mistakes, but it wasn't bad enough to say, this guy's a clown and has no idea what he's doing. He's lost. He's a lost ball in high weeds. I've never said that. I said there were times it's like, Mike, stop worrying about the media, putting out stuff on social media of pictures or sayings in the building. Like, you got bigger fish to fry. You got bigger things to worry about. That's just, one of many, 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 many examples of, Mike, come on, man. You're the head coach now. Put your head coach hat on. Stop being a player. But he learned. I thought he did. I thought he learned, and I thought he grew as a head coach. Okay? And I could go on, but like I said, I'm trying to keep this to the Cliff Notes version. What I would say on the other side that people aren't talking about, he was 6-18 in his last 24 games. And those are facts. Those aren't opinions. These games are you can tie Donovan McNabb. You can. But these games were won. He did 6 times, and he lost 18 in the last 24. That's not good.
No.
In a division that's been very mediocre, and been okay. It has not been murderer's row.
No.
It's been an average to below average division in the AFC South. Division games are important. In his last 9 division games, he went 1-8. Those are facts. Aren't opinions. They're facts. That's not good in a mediocre division. 1-8 in your last 9 division games, and just about did something no team has ever done since they've been here. Go over in the division. That was going to be a first. Luckily, it didn't happen. They beat the Jags. The other thing, a couple of other things that I'll touch on that I've touched on in the past is I was underwhelmed by his staff. And I think you need to be pushed as a leader, and I think you need to bring in smart people, and you can't be afraid of it. And I'm not saying he was afraid of that. I think Mike is from an old school, Vrabel's from an old school, and he brought in a lot of people that he's comfortable with and people that probably were going to go with what he said. I say, you can call him yes men or whatever, and I think he did a little bit of too much of rating the cupboard that he knew the best, the Patriots and the Texans. And he rated that cupboard over and over and over and over again, him and John Robinson for a while.
Mm-hmm.
The other part was you cannot deny, again, facts, not opinions. 3 straight years of being the most injured team in the league. And that in 3 years, you were the most injured team in the league. If it happens once, okay, you say it's an anomaly. If it happens twice, you're like, I'm scratching my head. I've raised my eyebrow. But when it happens in a 3-year span where you're the most injured team in the league over a 3-year span, something you're doing is not working, Justin.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm not over there every day. I don't know what they're doing on a daily basis.
Even the people who are over there every day don't know.
But what I do know is it's not working. That's too much. 1 off, okay. 2 off, okay. 3 times, you got a problem. Something you're doing is not good, and it's not the right way to do it. Whether it's the wrong people or whatever it is, it's not just bad luck. It can't be bad luck 3 seasons. It can't be.
Yeah.
Something else is behind it. We're about to find out. But that's kind of my Cliff Notes version on the con side that nobody's taught. You know what I mean? They're not.
Sure.
Nobody on the national media is just like, how could you do this? What are you doing? You're out of your mind. He's a great coach. And the other part is Mike Vrabel has got to get with the times. And you've said it on this show.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm more piggybacking off you, even though I have felt the same thing. But you've said it louder than me. He's got to get with the times. He is not with 2024. They were deathly dull to watch. And when you're not winning football games and you are deathly dull to watch, that is a really, really bad combo.
Yeah.
And they were deathly dull to watch.
Yeah.
It was a boring product.
It was not a good product to watch. The thing, and you know, we've collected some clips of the national media saying some things. And we can go through all of that and listen to some of that and react to some of that and all of that. But here's my bottom line on Mike Vrabel, and this is the cold reality of the situation with Mike Vrabel, and this is the thing that I would ask everyone who wanted to keep Mike Vrabel and think that this is the choppy waters that Michigan was talking about. What is the thing that Mike Vrabel accomplished here that this franchise had not done before Mike Vrabel got here?
Win a playoff game? Or get to the AFC say that again?
What is the thing that Mike Vrabel accomplished during his time here that the Tennessee Titans as an organization
2 division titles.
had never accomplished before?
2 division titles?
They've done that.
You're right, they had. I don't know. You're stumped.
Yeah, you know why? Because the answer is nothing.
Oh, you tricked me.
The answer is nothing.
You got me.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why.
I was tilting my head like a dog who's hearing a weird sound.
Yeah,
going, huh?
Well, yeah, that's the reason why the question is so penetrating, because the answer is nothing. There is nothing. And I know it feels different, but when you really analyze it, the answer is nothing. Everything that Mike Vrabel has done during his time here is all stuff that if you go back far enough, we've done it before. And it's not like we have to go back 50 years. They haven't done that since slinging Sammy Baugh back in 19. No,
the 25 years here.
No, we don't have to. We don't have to go that far. All the footage is in color. Now it's not all in HD, but it's in color. It's fairly recent. Darren and I are not spring chickens, but we're not that old.
We're not dirt.
I mean, okay, we remember this stuff, and it did happen, and the people who did it are still very much with us. Most of them, 99% of them are very much with us. The coaches are still with us. The players are still. Listen, the broadcasters who called the games are still calling the games, who saw all that stuff. So what is it that Mike Vrabel did that was so great and wonderful that this football franchise had not accomplished prior to Mike Vrabel getting here? And the answer to that question is absolutely nothing. Nothing. And so it just feels like, oh, what are we going to do now that Mike Vrabel is... We're going to do the same thing we've been doing before Mike Vrabel got here, and that is we're going to try to find another coach who can hopefully get us to a level that maybe, just maybe, the franchise hasn't been to, and that is actually winning the Super Bowl. Damon brought up a point off the air. People still talk about Philip Fulmer, and people still want Philip Fulmer to come back. Why do you think people still talk about Philip Fulmer? Why do people talk? Because Philip Fulmer did something that no other coach who is breathing has actually done, and that is bringing a national championship to Tennessee. That's why people are still talking about Philip Fulmer. And until somebody else does it, they will continue to talk about Phil Fulmer. Somebody brought up Jeff Fisher earlier today. Why would somebody bring up Jeff Fisher after all this time? Because Jeff Fisher is the only coach in the history of the Titans-Oilers franchise to put this team in a game with a Roman numeral number. Just him. He's the only guy. That's why he got as much rope as he did. That's why Bud Adams didn't fire Jeff Fisher. Why didn't Bud Adams fire Jeff Fisher? Because Bud Adams had owned a football franchise for 40 years, and no matter how many coaches he hired, there was only one guy on that list that got him to a Super Bowl. His name was Jeff Fisher. And that's why it was going to be very hard for Bud Adams to say goodbye to Jeff Fisher. After all the guys he had hired, Jack Pardee, Bun Phillips, Jerry Glanville, the list goes on. Out of all those guys, one guy got him to the Super Bowl. His name is Jeff Fisher. Sorry. I understand Mike Vrabel did some wonderful things. I'm not saying he was a terrible head coach. He was a good head coach. I'm just saying that if you look at the landscape and the history of this franchise, is Mike Vrabel really all that big of a deal compared to the other things that have already happened or the things that have accomplished? I challenge anyone to call and please tell me, what is the lasting legacy that Mike Vrabel is going to leave here that has never been done before he got here? He'll be good. He'll be remembered. I just wonder what are we really mourning here?
I'm still stuck at you getting me, man. That was good. I'm sitting here. I'm racing. I'm going. I'm like, what? Playoffs, division titles. What? Why can't I answer this? I should know this answer. Yeah, good point. All right, 615-844-5600. We'll come back and get Doug on the other side as you listen to the McFarland Show, Nashville Sports Radio.
I'm a retired school psychologist, and helping people was my thing. After my stroke, when Meals on Wheels started, I was on the other end of the stick, so to speak. My name is Julius Gaines, creative writer, poet, photographer.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LIFT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code LIFT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LIFT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LIFT.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now I'm hitting the road with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieved 90% clearer skin at 4 months. And Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
The Locksmith Company, our full-service locksmithing expert, is asking listeners to please donate a toy to Toys for Tots this holiday season. You can make a difference in the life of a child. This message is brought to you by the Locksmith Company, a proud veteran employer. For all your residential, commercial, or automotive locksmithing needs, call today for a free estimate or 24/7 emergency service at 931-801-5427, 931-801-5427. And also visit the lsco.com. The Locksmith Company is looking forward to seeing you.
It's a Bill King Show.
We are college football centric. That is the sun that warms our planet that we live on. Our planet actually isn't flat or round. It's an oblong spheroid. And we are here to proselytize about it, edify it every day on this here radio show.
Weekday mornings beginning at 6 on Sports Radio 560 on 95.9 FM.
The McFarland Show. Video streaming live on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube from the Strike and Spare studio.
615-844-5600 is how you get in touch with us. And a lot of you have done that. And we appreciate it because, look, it is a time to talk. It is going to be a very, very interesting offseason, to say the least. We are live in the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. Darren and Justin here with you. DJ Damon is alongside. Don't forget, you can watch the show every day on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. I know we were going to get to our top 10.
We're not going to get to it.
We haven't done it, and that's okay. We'll get to it before this week is up.
Got time. We got time.
All right, let's get back to the phones because I know you out there want to talk. Let's go to Doug. Doug, you're up next.
Hey,
Welcome
Doug.
in.
Good afternoon, man. I'll be quick, so maybe you can get to your top 10. But you guys are playing Reunited, and it feels so good. Well, I thought I was on another radio station dial when I heard all that nice, good music. But,
well, to be honest, we were kind of confused, too, because Damon didn't tell us he was going to do it.
He did not.
And Justin and I were looking at each other like, is there a bleed over or what's happening?
It was real smooth.
It was real smooth.
Perfect
Real
segue
smooth.
to what was going on.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
So DJ Damon, 5-star. There's another song that's out there right now, and I think Pete Carroll is in it. And now Mike Vrabel's going to be in it. And that song is, based on the transfer portal. Your where you land is how your production has gone. And if you look at Pete, he's got skins on the wall. And there's the hit of Janet Jackson that says, "What have you done for me lately?" Vrabel hasn't done enough lately, so that's where he's at. And it's pretty obvious that he flexed and got John Argon. But a certain amount of flexing requires results, and that flexing didn't get results. And you're only allowed to flex at your boss maybe one time in a year, but you can't do it twice. And then the boss flexes back. And as good as they are when they give you the job, they can be kind enough to take it back. I wish him well, but you can't keep flexing without results.
What do you think he was flexing at, Doug?
Well, you got John Argon.
Okay. All right.
there's a tier of how things are going. No one even knew who reported to who. You didn't know if he reported to Rand or if he reported to Amy. So that gets things, I say when things get out of order, there's confusion. So if Rand is seeing that he can go to Amy, that's kind of out of whack there. And if he's flexing and saying things out of his camp to say that, me and Rand ain't really that cool, and Miss Amy hears about it and Rand hears about it, how long will your boss let you keep on saying something before he does something?
Yeah.
Right?
I know exactly what you're saying. And I kind of hinted at that yesterday is it does seem like, that there seems to be constant strife with the head coach and the general manager. Fair to say?
You guys said it here. You said it, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yep.
And, I mean, these people, nobody's getting sued for slander. That's all I got to say about that.
Yep.
Somebody said something. And when you flex, you got to be productive. And you can't flex again in less than 12 months and think that you can just act like Bill Belichick and be a GM and a coach. He was not the GM. And maybe his power in his mind was more than he really thought he was. But what did they say? What the coach said is they are who we thought they were. You haven't won, Mr. Vrabel. And you're a good coach, but 2 years of losing constitutes an action, and you can't flex. And she flexed back.
Yeah.
I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Doug.
Again, I'm not smart, but it doesn't look good.
You are. No, you've got good points. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
There's one thing I do know in talking to people who work in the league, work for teams. I don't say work for the league. Not suggesting that talking to people who work for the NFL. Work for teams and kind of learning this process. And this is people I've talked to over the years in draft rooms, okay? And let me just say this. When you're in a draft room and there's a whole bunch of people in a draft room, the organization, everybody knows who wanted who. Okay?
True.
Right?
True.
Okay?
That's true.
Now, that stuff doesn't get out publicly.
No.
But people in that room and the organization know who stood up on a table and who wanted who.
That is true.
And that guy that ended up being, all pro, everything, who was that person in the room going, nah, we're going to make a huge mistake by drafting him.
Yep.
Right? I'm just telling you, that stuff goes on in those rooms. That stuff goes on in organizations. And all I'm saying is it's no different with the Titans. And while we don't know, because we keep asking the questions because nobody will answer them, because they're too busy throwing out the word collaboration. Get rid of it. Stupid. We don't know. It seems like because Amy Adams-Strunk was John Robinson, he's the guy, contract extension, you're fired. It seems like maybe there was some things going on in a room where maybe John Robinson were responsible for some of these bad picks or bad signings, and maybe people in the organization, maybe like the head coach, or others are like, I don't know about that. I wouldn't do that. And then, so if you're going to choose sides, you're going to use that as part of your argument. Fair?
Yeah.
Maybe in the latest round, where Amy Adams-Strunk said, and maybe it was just he's the newer guy. I don't know. Or maybe in this latest round of draft picks this last year, and free agent signings, Rand Carthon was like, or construction of the roster.
Yeah.
Like, hey, everybody in the room, we kind of need to start over a bit. We need to get rid of some aging contracts / aging players and get fresher and younger and cheaper and do this and prepare for the future. And maybe Mike Vrabel was like, I think we can win with this roster. Like, this roster, this is what we can do. You see what I mean?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Maybe those type of conversations were taking place, and Mike Vrabel was on the wrong side of those conversations because, again, in organizations, I know because I have conversations with people in organizations, believe me, they all know who wanted who.
They do.
Okay?
They do.
In Kansas City, they all know in that room who wanted Patrick Mahomes and who didn't. And probably
Boy,
the ones
do they ever.
And probably the ones who didn't
probably
don't work
aren't
for the
there anymore.
organization anymore.
Probably aren't there.
Okay, and that's not by coincidence. That's how it
And
works.
if they are there, they've lost a lot of credibility.
Right. 615-844-5600. Back to the phones. Eric, you're up next. Welcome in.
Eric.
I really do hope and pray this works out. But one of the things I think there are a few people brought out, and again, I don't know if this is true or not, but one of the rumors I've heard is that Amy wanted Mike to fire some people, that he didn't want to do it, that they played a part. Again, I don't know because I wasn't there, but I've heard that being reported. Would that surprise me? No. But here's the thing, guys, to me that's unsettling that I just think we're not focusing on, that I really feel bad about, that I just don't think it's good. We're about to have our fourth head coach in less than 10 years, guys, and that's not good. Period.
No, agreed.
Yeah, and also we're on our third GM in less than 10 years, and that's not good either. And, guys, I know there are a lot of Titans fans wanting them gone, and that's fine. To me, I don't care who the hire is. I know some who said they want them gone because they want offensive guys, and they're probably cringing when they hear.
Eric, do me a favor. Pause real quick. Pause.
Yeah.
Who does a lot of firing coaches and GMs a lot? What type of organizations?
Yeah,
What do
organization.
we tag organizations that are hiring and firing GMs and coaches all the time? What do we call them? Anyone?
Losing organizations, not good organizations.
Bad organizations.
Yeah.
Bad organizations.
Yeah. Well,
I'm just saying, to your point, right? Those are not good things. Those are not things you want to tout about.
Right.
Hey, just so you know, we're on our fourth head coach. Hey, just so you know, we're on our third GM in the last decade.
Yeah. I'm just saying that, it's not good. But I'll say this. To me, I just want a coach to win. I don't care if it's offense, defense. I know some Titans fans are probably cringing when they hear the names of Dan Quinn and Antonio Pierce, another guy that's with Troy, that's a defensive coordinator. But, the main thing is, bottom line is, I want a coach that wins. And I've talked to Amy Armstrong at some different functions. Wonderful woman. She knows who I am and stuff like that. And I appreciate, certainly she wants to win. But if this doesn't work out, guys, it's like, what's going to happen next? Are there going to be fans? And I don't get into firing coaches, GMs, or whatever, and all that type of stuff. Are there going to be fans that then say, well, we got to fire Rand? Or then are there going to be fans out there saying, Amy needs to sell the team? I'm not getting into that, guys. But, guys, whether it's fair or not, it's just, that's, to me, the one troubling thing. And, guys, I agree with what some people have said. We've got to get this right. Because if you don't, it's just, it could just really get bad.
Well,
and especially with the new stadium.
You're going to get labeled. You're going to get labeled.
Yeah. Whether it's fair or not. Well, guys, good talk to you. Y'all take care.
Thank you, Eric. Good points.
Thank you, Eric.
Look. If you're constantly hiring and firing, David Tepper, all he's done since he's taken over the Carolina Panthers is hire and fire people. That's not good. The Jets are notorious for this. The Browns have been notorious for this in the past. And if you're constantly hiring and firing GMs and coaches, you ain't got it right. You don't know what you're doing. You're bad. You're poorly run. You don't know. You right now are not making good decisions.
Impulsive. It's very impulsive. Some of the things those organizations have done especially is very impulsive.
615-844-5600. Back to the phones. Bob, you're up next. Welcome in.
Good afternoon, guys. It seems to me like the Titans media relations people dropped the ball, so to speak, before, looking at yesterday's fiasco. And I'd like to know, basically, you guys are, obviously been around for a long time in the national media. What's your opinion of the effectiveness or lack thereof of the Titans media relations and the Titans fan relations? I don't know if public relations would cover both media and fans, but they seem to really be scoring some misses in both particular areas, both with regard to
Bob, hold on.
with media.
Just to clarify, drop the ball how? How did the
That's
Titans?
what I want to know.
How did the Titans media relations drop the ball?
But it seems like they could, unless Amy Adams just decided she was going to do it herself without consulting people. But it seems like, all day today, all the media has been talking about how vague they were. They weren't answering questions, and it seems like that, their media advisors would have sense enough to be able to ascertain, hey, if you don't do this and this, then you're going to come across as that and that.
Let me just say this.
Bob.
No, hold on. No, this is okay. This is
might
good.
be naive.
No. This is good. This is good.
That's the reason I'm asking. They seem to be they seem to be pretty like Keystone Cops like.
I can tell you this, Bob, okay? Unlike Vanderbilt, who has changed so many media relations people, I can't keep up with him. I don't have a clue who's over there anymore, and I don't know if those people know any media in this town, okay? Unlike Vanderbilt, Robbie Boren,
yep,
Dwight Spradlin,
yep,
Jared Puffer,
yep,
those three cats, especially Robbie and Dwight,
yes, sir.
They've been over there a whole long time. I didn't say that right. They've been over there a long. I don't know why I said whole.
No, they've been there. No, you said it correctly.
Long time.
No, Darren, you said it correctly. They've been there. Robbie in particular has
been there the whole time.
The whole time, not
whole time.
Some of the time. The whole time.
Those cats have logged 20, 25 years. Okay, I will say this to your question. It's a good one. But
That's
the problem is those guys don't control head coaches, general managers, and the controlling owner.
Okay, that was the nature of my question. I just was having heard that, and that answers my question. But that was just everybody's slamming them for them. I mean, the owner and the GM for being so evasive, and that just makes the organization look like it's ineptly run. And then, what's your opinion?
Hold on, before you change. Hold on. Let me just give you an example to your question. Okay, there was a media relations person over there that came in from University of Tennessee and worked there, and was hired high up in the media relations, overseeing the media relations, and he wasn't there very long because apparently. I don't know exactly how it went down. Didn't prep Amy Adams Strunk or what have you for an interview. Something went right and he's an experienced guy in this field. He didn't do something right and he was fired, gone. That's how quick that happens. In other words, they don't have any power, Bob. They just got to do what they're told. They don't have any power. Okay. They can suggest something to Amy Adams Strunk. They can suggest something to whoever the GM is, in this case, Rand Carthon. They can suggest whatever they want to Mike Vrabel or whomever's the head coach. But more times than not, that person is going to look at whoever the media relations person is. Doesn't mean they don't respect them, but they're going to be like, yeah, no, that's not how I'm doing it. I'm going to do it this way.
Who is in charge then of their, fan relations in terms of communicating things to the fans, things like that? Is it the same? Is that from the same office, or is that a different branch? Because again, it just seems like the fans are being, kept in the dark and whatnot. And all of these questions, I'm an impartial observer. I don't wish the Titans ill, but I don't live and die by the Titans at all. But I'm a native Nashvilleian, and it's just been really interesting to watch all of this play out. What's your opinion of the way that they're communicating with their fans right now?
Okay, we'll talk about it, Bob. Thank you as always.
Thank you. Loaded question.
Yeah, so we'll need to break before we come back and answer that. By the way, they are separate, right?
They are, yes.
Media and fan relations.
That is correct.
Separate departments. All right, we'll come back. We'll answer Bob's question. On the other side, by the way, 615-844-5600. More of the McFarland Show next.
When was the last time you did something fun with family, friends, coworkers, and clients? What if I told you about a place under one roof that offers affordable entertainment for all ages? That's what you'll find at Strike and Spare Family Fun Centers in Donaldson, Hermitage, Tusculum, Hendersonville, and Murfreesboro, with bowling, games, food, drink, and entertainment for all ages. Enjoy an enhanced experience in Hendersonville or Murfreesboro, where they feature additional fun with bumper cars, laser tag, roller skating, and more. All locations are open 7 days a week, including holidays. Visit online at strikeandspare.com. Strike and Spare, where fun is bowling.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, Prevagen has been shown to improve memory. A Pharmacy Times national survey of pharmacists rated Prevagen the #1 pharmacist-recommended memory support brand for the 5th year in a row. You can find it in the vitamin aisle in stores everywhere without a prescription. Help your memory. Try Prevagen today. Prevagen. Healthier brain, better life. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Want even more excitement on game day? It's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you could win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Sweat it out, watch your entry update in real time, and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. Take your game day experience to the next level with Prize Picks. And right now, you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime. Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for more details.
Prince's Hot Chicken, Nashville's original hot chicken, with 3 locations serving Middle Tennessee, south on Nolensville Road, 5th and Broad, downtown, and the new location at Tanger Outlet Mall. You can now order your favorite flavor of heat online at princesshotchicken.com. And don't forget dessert, including special holiday pies. Prince's Hot Chicken in 3 locations and princesshotchicken.com. Prince's Hot Chicken, Nashville's original hot chicken.
It's the McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
These are necessary pains that this football team needs to go through for the betterment of the long-term future. This team needs to get younger. This team needs to change directions. Total, complete makeover. I don't think it needs a patch up. I think it needs to burn down to the studs and start over.
The McFarland Show with Darren and Justin on Nashville Sports Radio WNSR.
You're listening to The McFarland Show live on WNSR Nashville Sports Radio.
615-844-5600. Lots and lots of calls today. We appreciate it. We're wide open the rest of the hour if you still want to get involved. Bob asked the question, basically, how do you think they've handled the fan relations part of this? And obviously, since we've talked about it so much today, I think right now, considering the only thing they released is the little canned interview Amy Adams Strunk did with Mike Keith. Again, not Mike Keith's fault. He's the voice of the Titans. He asked about, he asked, I thought, questions the best he could possibly do considering the situation that he's in. So that was about 4 or 5 minutes long, that little
5 minutes, yeah,
that they put out there yesterday. And then Rand Carthon yesterday, who hasn't done much speaking as the general manager at all. I don't think yesterday was great. If you're just asking me to be honest, I've watched a whole lot of press conferences. I've been in a whole lot of press conferences over the years. I wasn't in there yesterday because they started at 4:00. I would not say it was a great look, but that's just my opinion.
I know fans want more interaction and they want answers.
They
and
deserve
transparency from the football team, and the Titans do have a way of trying to communicate that out to people right now. But here's the other part about this that you have to please put in consideration. There is an enormous, and I know this to be true just by watching the moves being made through public meetings and things like this. There is an enormous amount of energy being put forth right now to get this stadium done and off the ground. and breaking ground on this Titan Town thing that they're getting ready to do and trying to get the stadium built. And when you're doing that, you have less energy to focus towards communicating with the fans. They've got an eye. Yeah, they're in the present, but they've got a big piece of their attention that is focused on the future and trying to get that brand new $1 billion stadium up and done correctly. And they should, because it's the kind of thing that if you take your eye off the ball with it, it can get ugly real fast. And you don't want to boondoggle with that thing. You want to be able to get it done and get it done correctly. And there is a lot, the administration portion, because there's a team part and then there's an administration part. And the administration part has been squarely focused on trying to get the stadium built. And not, from what I've seen, not a whole lot else. And I personally am giving them a pass for that, because you only get one shot to do this correctly, or one shot every 30 to 40 years.
That's fine. But the reason that it's important to communicate,
it is important,
stuff to your fans and to the media who helps communicate that to the fans. I've said it on the show many times. I don't think, to my knowledge, there has been nothing released, right, about ticket prices.
Not that I've heard publicly. Right? I've heard rumors.
Things I've heard. Again, things I've heard. I don't think anything is out there publicly. Things I've heard, sticker shock. So, if that's true, and oh, by the way, it could change. It could change behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Because if you're in a bad place and then you're going to come out with sticker shock, good luck with that.
Well,
I'm saying if you're going to do sticker shock, if that information is correct from what I've been told, that it's going to go up, 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 which is, you probably expect that in a new stadium, especially one that's going to cost them, over $1 billion.
Oh.
But you can't. You better make sure that your customers are happy.
Yeah.
If you're going to go ask for them to dig deep.
Yeah. But you got to make sure it's done. And listen, there's got to be room for both. There's got to be room for the PR arm of it, and there's got to be room for the actual nuts and bolts of it. And perhaps the PR arm of it probably needs to get in a bigger swing of things here in the next little bit. With that, I mean, but I just know a lot of their energy has been focused towards,
rightfully so, should be
trying to get the stadium.
This is going to be
done.
Historic.
It
for
is
this market.
It is. You gotta get it done right.
It's got to be done right.
It's more important than the head coach being hired.
The future of this city is depending on it to be right.
It's more, and people saying you got to get the head coach right. No. You got to get this dome correct. Got to get the dome correct.
Yep. All right, we'll take our final break. Come back and put a bow on Wednesday's edition of the McFarland Show next.
The fine folks at The Fence Man are on the air reminding motorists to slow down on our roads, keep an eye out for kids at play, and never text and drive. It can wait. This message is courtesy of The Fence Man, your local fence builder for over 35 years. Call Johnny today for all your fencing needs at 615-498-0492. 615-498-0492. The Fence Man. The professionals who care. In Tennessee, 967,430 people struggle with hunger, and 295,570 of them are children. That's 1 in 7 who struggle with hunger, and 1 in 5 are children. People who are hungry are not necessarily living on the streets. They may be in your child's classroom, in your neighborhood, or just down the street. In addition, many of these people live in food deserts, which are areas more than 10 miles from the nearest grocery store. Often there are limited resources to get food, and the only option is fast food or convenience markets. While processed food may help with hunger pangs, it provides little to no nutrition. What began in 2008 as a dream to buy land, grow food, and give it away has recently developed into a way to serve and impact more individuals in the community. God has blessed our mission to be a healthy food source to those in need so much, By Faith Farm had to create a nonprofit to continue meeting the need in the community on a larger scale. Visit byfaithfarm.com to get involved. That's byfaithfarm.com.
Michael Fabiano here, and if you want even more excitement on game day, it's time to get on Prize Picks, the best way to win big on fantasy sports. Here's how it works. Just pick 2 to 6 players and choose more or less on their stats. If you get them right, you can win up to 25 times your cash. It's quick and easy to make your picks, and with fast and safe deposits and withdrawals, Prize Picks is the place to play this season. Prize Picks has awesome weekly promotions, and they're the only daily fantasy platform with an injury insurance policy, keeping you in the game even if one of your players goes down. Watch your entry update in real time and continue the fun by making picks on second half and fourth quarter stats. And right now, when you go to prizepicks.com/primetime and use code primetime, Prize Picks is matching your first deposit up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/primetime with code primetime for a 100% deposit match. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
With 13 locations nationally, including Smyrna, Star Leasing Company is a semi-trailer one-stop shop and the perfect place to build a career as a semi-trailer mechanic. Seeking candidates with all levels of experience, Star Leasing Company has a semi-trailer technician trainee program with sign-on and quarterly bonuses and other opportunities such as $1,000 for having a yearly physical. The package also includes 401k with company match, health, dental, and vision insurance, competitive pay with weekly paychecks, and paid holidays and time off. Star Leasing Company, not your typical semi-trailer leasing company. Visit starleasing.com to learn more.
The TSU men's basketball squad came through a challenging non-conference schedule with a winning record and now turned their attention to Ohio Valley Conference play. The Tigers kicked off a run of 18 league games over a 9-week period through February, leading the OVC Championships March 6th to the 9th at the Ford Center in Evansville. And part of that, 9 league home games at the Gentry Center. Hello, this is Greg Pogue inviting you to join longtime TSU broadcaster Albert Dawson and me on all the games this season right here on Nashville Sports Radio.
Text the Strike and Spare studio now at 615-844-5600. You're listening to The McFarland Show with Darren McFarland and Fox 17's Justin McFarland.
I'm going to let you set up this clip.
Yeah, this is going to be Mike Florio. This is Mr. Florio talking about the firing of Mike Vrabel. And he's speaking along with his co-host on his particular show, Chris Sims, the former NFL quarterback, as they talk about the fact they simply cannot believe that this has happened. I want everybody to listen to this, and I found myself wondering something while listening to this interview.
Vrabel, just like if you've got Kyle Shanahan, if you've got any of the coaches who are doing a great job right now, I don't want to start listing them because then I'll leave someone out and somebody's going to be upset with me, or at least more upset than usual. When you have a guy that's getting it done, what the hell are you doing letting him go? And what are you doing not making it work? This is the Jim Harbaugh thing with the 49ers 10 years ago. It's on you to make it work when you got a good coach. When you have a guy who's getting it done, who had 91 different players in 2021 and was still the 1 seed in the AFC, you find a way to make it work long-term. You've got your long-term guy. You're not going to find a better guy long-term than what you got. You make it work, period.
I mean, everything I look at with the Tennessee Titans that's positive or great or anything like that, to me, it's all Mike Vrabel. I mean, that's really what it is. There's been issues with that organization, but none of them trace back to Mike Vrabel. So that to me is the most important thing. He is one of the best coaches in football. There's no doubt about it. It's a sad day to see him go as the Tennessee Titan coach, like you said. It's, hey, 2021, number 1 seed. 2020, right? Went to the playoffs that year and won the division. 2019, AFC Championship game. And then we could go through a laundry list of names and people to go through, look at the draft and everything else here. And, like, Mike Vrabel was not set up for the greatest success with ex-GM John Robinson and some of the blunders he made in free agency and draft. So it's kind of incredible. But, Mike, I'll say this, okay? He got fired. Yes, we know that. I think he wanted to be fired. I don't think he wanted to be there. That's where I would start right there. I just, we kind of felt this coming, and I feel like this is what he wanted.
Okay. I found myself asking this question while listening to that. Who are they talking about? Like, who are we? They're talking about 2019, 2020, and 2021. And listen, they're talking about a run, but they're putting him in the category of Kyle Shanahan and Jim Harbaugh. Unless memory escapes me, there seems to be a difference between the records of Kyle Shanahan and Jim Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel's record. Is there not? Is there something that those two gentlemen have accomplished that Mike Vrabel has yet to accomplish as a head coach?
Well, those two have been to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
yes.
They've been to the Super Bowl. Okay. So, and listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm so for real about this, y'all. If Mike Vrabel had beat the Kansas City Chiefs in that AFC Championship game back in 2019, he's not fired today. Because that is the skin on the wall, to borrow Darren's term, that you need to stick and stay in places. That is the trophy. That is the thing. That's the banner. That's the big one. And for you to dust over it or dismiss it like it's all the same thing, no, it's not the same thing. There's a reason why they give away the big rings at the end of the year. It's not the same thing. Getting close to going to those things and actually going is not the same thing. Ask Andy Reid. He can tell you about it. You know, ask Marv Levy and the Buffalo Bills. Going 4 straight years and winning one is not the same thing. So I'm just putting it out there.
Interesting. I knew this is how the national media would. I mean, I'm
and
not
they've
surprised.
skipped over the last 2 years like the last 2 years didn't even happen.
Yeah, because they're not here. Because they don't have to live it. All right, that's going to do it for our show today. Good stuff. We'll be back at it tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Don't forget, Bill Keene starts things off at 6 a.m. Greg and John, 9 to 11. And then we'll see you at 2 o'clock. Have a great rest of your Wednesday.